did. He did everything that you want him to do. I know the Penn State running back, Curtis Ennis, Kawana Carter, I mean, they have not done well. Blair Thomas. But if I am the Browns and I have the first pick and the fourth pick and a bushel full of money, and with Ezekiel Elliott and what he meant to Dallas and everything else, I have to make sure that I take this. I got to walk out of here with Barkley. Now, how they do that, and I know they need a quarterback, and I have to find one, but how they do this, I don't, maybe they sign McCarron, maybe they draft Barkley, and maybe they can trade down a little bit to make sure he's still there. Let the Giants trade up to get the quarterback that they want, and then maybe take the second pick and just hope the Giants don't take Barkley. But I think I got to walk out of there with him. He's the surefire thing. There's enough quarterbacks in the draft in the top 4 to 5 picks that they will get a quarterback. And anybody who sits there and tells you because he looked good, in a pair of in gym wear, throwing the ball all over a field with nobody on him, that it's a no-brainer that you got to take Josh Allen with the number 1 pick. I mean, I understand that to a degree, and I can live with that. But the guy that you have to walk out of there, to me, is the running back. And that team needs somebody on offense. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run back kicks. I'm sure he can run back punts. I am not letting him go. Now, that's me. That team is not that far away. They have 2 picks in the top 4. They have 8 picks overall. They got $100 million to work with. There's McKinnon. There is McCarron. There was Cousins. There's 4 quarterbacks, including Mayfield and Allen and Rosen and Darnold. They can get a good quarterback and the running back. And the running back to me is the best player in the draft. And I think that if you're Cleveland, you got to end up with that. Now, I don't know what they're going to do, and I know they've had a history of, obviously, at the position being an atrocious scenario. Deshaun Watson, Wentz, they had a chance. Goff, they had a chance. Tim Couch, I should say. I mean, they've had a million guys now. And they have, Manziel was a disaster. Whedon was. Now, those picks were later in the first round, so I'm not going to kill them on that. There was more of a flyer, some of these picks that they didn't get done right with QBs were late in round ones. It wasn't like they had the first pick in the draft and blew it. Now, they had to, listen, Couch didn't turn out to be good. So, had a couple of moments, but he got hurt. He wasn't good. They need to go out there and they need to get the running back and then take the quarterback. That's what I would do. Now, if they sign McCarron, then that doesn't necessitate, and remember, McCarron worked well with you, Jackson. If they sign McCarron, then they can maneuver a little bit because then they can, draft the Q. They can figure out a way with the 2 picks to get the running back, maybe trade down, get a quarterback later in the first round. There's something they can do. Now, the problem with the Browns is the Browns are in a situation here, as we know as a franchise, that if they don't come out with a quarterback, a franchise caliber QB, doesn't have to be a Hall of Famer, but a guy that you can build your team around for a decade. If they don't come out of this draft with that, it's a complete waste. I don't care if Barkley turns out to be Jim Brown. If they have to come out with a QB in some shape, way, or form in this draft, who's good, who they can build around. But there's a lot of choices. Free agency as well. There's 5 to 6 guys that could fit that. Mason Rudolph, Oklahoma State, if they love him. Obviously, McCarron. They did have Cousins. There's Mayfield. There's Allen. There's Rosen. There's Darnold. There's enough guys out there. There's Bradford. There's this. There's Keenan. There's a million guys. They should be able to get that problem solved, at least from a standpoint of being, they can move forward a little bit. Kaiser's not the answer. So that forget him. But if it was my team, I got to make sure I think Barkley is going to be the best player in the draft. And they have 2 of the top 4 picks. I got to get him. Now, everybody loves the kid from NC State. Who knows? Everybody seems to think he might go to the Colts They need defense. They need a lot of things. Luck, though, is out, so they don't have to worry about Luck. He's back in the mix now, so they're not going to draft a quarterback. Sounds like he's going to be okay. So they're okay from that standpoint. That helps the Browns. The Giants, I think the Giants can live with any of the quarterbacks. I don't know if they have a preference. We're going to find that out. But the Giants, I think, will draft a QB. I think the Jets will get a quarterback somehow, some way, by hook or by crook. I think they're going to end up with somebody too. Maybe it even will be Cousins. But I think the Browns can get the quarterback and can still get Barkley. And that's what I would do if I was Cleveland. I really would. 21 after the hour, we continue here on Mad Dog Unleashed.